Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 20 years, as she's developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We have a whole bunch of callers on hold already, and I'm looking forward to talking with them and see what they have to say, what their questions are, and see what our answers are that we come up with. And before I do, you know what this is? This is the first Thursday of November of 2019, which means we have a winner. I always feel like I'm a host of a game show when I do this. But what I'm talking about is I do a drawing each month as a thank you to all of you guys for listening. And I know that it's $155 for a private 1-hour session is a lot of money to some people. So I do a drawing each month so somebody can win one. And this month, the winner is Mammy Marnita. And she said, so what she did was she put a review on iTunes about the show. And she said, I just found Julie's podcast. I'm a light worker and have remembered more from her podcast. Julie's a great light worker and teacher. I'm reading her book now and going to take her class. So, Mammy Marnita, email me, julie@askjulieryan.com. You have won a free 1-hour session with me. We will be able to talk about whatever you want. Health-related stuff. I can scan your pets. We can talk to your deceased loved ones. We can do spirit guide stuff. We can do past life stuff. We can do whatever you want in that hour. And that will be really fun. For those of you who want to participate in this drawing, you just have to do 3 easy things. And they are, number 1, leave a review on iTunes, itunes.com/AskJulieRyan. Leave a review, number 1. Number 2, follow me on Instagram at AskJulieRyan. And number 3, sign up for my blog at AskJulieRyan.com. And that's a question somebody has submitted online, and then I answer it. And I pick a different one each week. So, Mammy Marnita, email me. We'll get you on the calendar, and I look forward to talking with you. All right. Tonight, our first caller is Jamie. So, hi, Jamie.
Hi, Julie. It's good to be back on the show.
Well, it's good to have you. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta. Are the colors starting to turn there?
A little bit.
Ours are too. Ours are too in Birmingham. A little bit. Well, Thanksgiving is really when peak color is for us down here. I talk to people all over the country, and I'll say, how are your colors? And they'll say, oh, we're done. I'll say, well, yeah, we're just starting. So, everybody, Jamie is very dear to me. She's been a client for a long time. She took my class, and she just started a new podcast. And I got to be her inaugural guest on her first podcast. I mean, how honored am I for that, James?
So, I'm honored. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Oh, well, please tell everybody a little bit about you, a little bit about the work you do, what you did, what you're doing now, and tell them about your show and how they can find it.
Okay. I started the Own Your Energy podcast with my friend Kristen, and it's basically about all things unseen, all things that lie beyond the veil, all things woo-woo, and we are actually going to do a lot of the things and record it and bring them back to the podcast. So we're kind of taking people along for the ride with us, taking people on the journey, and I have gone on the journey with you, and that's what we were talking about. And I started with you as a client when I wasn't feeling well. And at the time, I was a physical therapist. And for some reason, I just felt like I could do what you could do. I don't know why I got that intuition. And I really wanted to know how to do what you do. And I was actually going to ask you if I could do just a bunch of private sessions and you teach me. And then you started the class, like the next week probably. So I ended up signing up for your class. And it's taken a lot of practice, but you taught the basics and you answered tons of questions. And you raised my frequency to where I learned how to get answers from beyond the veil. And so now I'm starting my own energy healing business. I don't do the same thing you do, but a little bit different. I have my own style, but I've completely changed my life since I took your class.
Right. And that's why I'm so persnickety about letting people's own talents come in as they're supposed to, Jamie.
Right.
I think you know that, and you remember me saying that. A lot of teachers in this energy healing space will have certain techniques. You have to do this. Stand on your left foot and raise your right hand, or, whatever. I'm making that up. But I'm more about let's raise the vibrational level, and then you can access spirit that's alive, spirit that's hooked into a live body. You can access any spirit that's deceased. You can take that anywhere you want. And the thing that I'm so proud of you about is you have been able to put all of this together, and you're changing careers as a result of it, that's taken some golden ovaries to do that, girl. I've done that many times, and I know what's involved.
Yes, it's a little scary, and it's hard putting myself out there and doing the podcast. But I just think it's so fun, and I'm so passionate about it, and I want everyone else to know about it too. So here we are. We're starting the journey.
When you say you're going on your journey, what are you going to do? Like do healings on people, and then you're going to bring back in what happened and how you did it and all of that on your show, or what are you going to specifically
next
talk
week,
about?
So Kristen and I went and got our auras read. So we have the auraologist on for our next episode. And we're going to go do other crazy things. We're going to go to like float tanks and salt rooms and have different types of healers like EFT, like the tapping healers. We have a bunch of ideas lined up of what we're going to try and then bring those experts onto the show.
How fun is that? That'll be quite the ride. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Well, I'm so proud of you, and
thank you.
And everybody. Jamie, I know you agree with me. Anybody can do this work. It's just a matter of learning to do it. And we're all born with the abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say something about that for a minute.
Yeah. So I taught my husband how to do this. I taught my kids how to do this, and now they go around asking, is it in my best interest to eat this candy bar? And they really do get answers. If they're angry, I'll send them to their room, and I'll say, go talk to your angels, and they'll come out a few minutes later and tell me what they said. And so anyone can learn how to do this.
Mm-hmm. Great. Wonderful. I have a client that I talked to yesterday, and she told me, she said, yeah, I've been using some of the stuff I learned on your show from you, and she said, and I've worked with my 6-year-old about it, who's in first grade, and she said, he came home the other day, and he said, Mom, I used your woo-woo stuff at school, and she said, you did? What did you do? And he said, well, I got my test back, and it had a U on it for unsatisfactory. They don't put F's on a first grader's test. And he said, normally I would be really upset, but I used your woo-woo stuff, and I felt okay about it, and I know I'll do better next time. And she said to me, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, she said, oh, my God, we're teaching these little children this stuff, and I know your kids are little, and then how is that going to enhance their lives as they grow up? I think it's just fabulous that you guys are teaching your little kids this work.
Yep, and they're way better at it than we are.
That's right. That's right. All right. So how can everybody find you?
We are at the Own Your Energy podcast, and I am personally at keepthefaithhealing.com.
Okay. So Own Your Energy podcast, just Google it, and then you'll find it?
Mm-hmm.
Or
That's
do a search
right.
on your phone?
It's on Apple, Android, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, and other major podcast locations.
Okay, girl. Well, I'm so
Thank
proud
you so
of
much.
you, and I'm so honored that I got to be on your show.
Yay. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All righty. I am so proud of her. She has just done remarkable things. And that's the thing, and I don't mean this to sound like an ad for my class, you guys, but the stuff that people are doing after they take my class that really is life-changing for them, the stories are just endless. The next class is going to be in February. I think I have 4 or 5 people signed up for it already, and we haven't really even started promoting it. So if you're interested, go to my site, AskJulieRyan.com, and look at joining us in February. It's 4 Saturdays in a row, and it's 2 hours online. We're in a virtual conference room, and we all see each other, and we have people from other countries, too. I know one of the people that has signed up this round is from London. We had a gal from London last time, too, and then other countries before that. So, all righty, let's go back to the phone. I believe our next caller is Miss Patty. Hi, Patty.
Hello, Patty from Queens.
How are you, girl?
I'm okay now, somewhat.
Good. Well, why are you better now? What happened?
I'm calling from Queens, New York. Okay,
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, it was a Wednesday. I had to go to the library at work to drop off some books, and then I said, I have a craving for hamburger and French fries. Okay, so I go to a local salad bar that I go to a lot. I normally go to one delicatessen, but they ran out of French fries, so I went to the local salad bar by my work, and I ordered a hamburger and French fries. So I go back to work at my desk. I opened up the container. All of a sudden, I felt nauseous. I wasn't sick. All of a sudden, I felt nauseous, but something, the smell made me nauseous. So I figured maybe I'm just hungry. Maybe that's what it is. So I ate the hamburger. In fact, all of a sudden, my heart started racing. I said, oh, my God, I know I'm allergic to something. So then I went home. I went to the emergency room, and the doctor scolded me when I told him that I believed that what I ate was causing my racing heart because I think I'm allergic to something. He scolded me saying, where'd you hear that? That when you eat something, if you eat something and it causes your heart and your pulse goes up, that means what you ate, you're allergic to it, or you're sensitive to it. And he said that's not true. He said he's not. Yeah, I know. And something made me sick. But I can eat hamburger. I can eat French fries. I can eat potatoes. But I didn't know what was maybe there was something inside that didn't agree to my body. But I'm glad this happened for a reason, because when I went to the hospital, they did a blood test, and my sugar was 100 after 5 hours of not eating. And I figured, wait a minute, it's 5 hours. It should have been down to 80 or something. I have diabetes in my family, and now I bought a glucose monitoring machine, and I see my sugar already up past 100 in the morning. And as I said, maybe it was a blessing in disguise that I end up in the hospital, because I wouldn't have found out that I'm starting to have sugar problems now. And I already start to feel something in the summertime, that sometimes when I eat something sugary, I feel nauseous. And what's scaring me now more is not the diabetes, that I know that it's more because I was diagnosed with fatty liver 2 years ago, and the doctor told me back in April, you shouldn't worry about the fatty liver going into cirrhosis because you need a contributing factor like diabetes. Now, if I'm having sugar problems, that's what's really scaring me about the fatty liver too.
Okay, couple of thoughts, Patty. Couple of thoughts.
Right.
Number one, sugar elevates when you're in a in an immune reaction. You know, you were having a reaction to whatever you ate that was in that burger or something. What I'm getting is it probably had some kind of soy in it mixed in there with the meat, which is not that uncommon. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, if your sugar level is high, sugar, diabetes, unless it's type 1, and fatty liver is completely eradicatable with diet. Completely.
Right.
Completely.
I know that.
So,
and I've been doing that.
Yeah. So shoot me an email. I'll send you a link for the gut biome test. Get that done, the poop test in your house. Let's find out what your superfoods are. Let's find out what the foods are for you to avoid based on your gut biome. And food is medicine. That's going to be the first thing for you to do. And this is a moot point.
Do I have diet? Do I have diabetes? Do I have pre-diabetes? I have a session with you in January anyway. I paid for a session.
Oh, great.
And I'm happy. Great. I can't wait. But am I in a process of having diabetes or just,
I think I think you're pre-diabetic, but I also think you have inflammation in your system, and I think that's what's raising your sugar level. So let's find out what your superfoods are, and you eat those, and they're going to make you healthy as a horse, and then this is going to be a moot point. It's just not even going to be an issue. So I'm so glad you're all right. I'm so glad you went to the emergency room and got checked out. And
I think it was a blessing in disguise.
I agree.
I think it was a blessing, right, because I wouldn't have found out about the sugar.
I agree. So thanks for calling.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey, email me. Thanks, Patty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Let's see who is next. I believe it's Miss Amy. Hi, Amy. Hi, Amy.
Whoops, I'm sorry. Hi, Julie.
How are ya?
Good. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
You really are just a gifted soul.
Oh, you sweet thing. Same right back at you, babe. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from San Diego.
Okay. You got a question for me?
I do. I'm going through just this, in this lifetime, guilt, shame, and fear. And I have it clear up to now. And I always have this fear of being homeless or, this is going to sound crazy to anybody on the phone, but please don't take this wrong. Even going to jail. And that was because I had a tenant a few years ago who actually put a warrant out for me because I went over to fix the dryer. And it was just ongoing. It was just the craziest thing. But I just went into, what do you do with that? I was shocked. I was hurt. I cried. I prayed. I called the police. I didn't know what to do. But honestly, it just haunts me. And I want to get rid of this fear.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Here's a trick that you can use. It's called the 2-minute rule. I don't know where I came up with it. I made it up, but it works great, and it's free, and it's convenient because it can be with you anywhere your brain is. And usually our brain's with us wherever we go. So here's how it works. Thoughts are, Amy, things that are out in the universe. They all have a frequency. Okay, thoughts do not originate in our head. We pull them in, and it's like a radio channel. You're on the jazz station, 94.7 The Wave in Southern California, and you're listening to jazz music. You change the station, you're on classical music. You're getting classical music. That's what broadcasts on that station. When you go into those thoughts of, oh my God, I'm going to be homeless, I'm going to go to jail, I'm going to, die, blah, 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 whatever. You're on the frequency of those thoughts. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to disrupt that frequency. We want to break it. Here's how you do it. You ask yourself, is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? That's what I call it, the 2-minute rule. So I'm gonna be homeless, and then you ask yourself, is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? And you're probably going to laugh or chuckle, and you're going to go, no, it's not. Anything that isn't going to kill you in the next 2 minutes is a false belief. It's fake news. Okay? If you're standing in the street and there's a truck running down the street and it's going to hit you, you better get out of the street. All right? That's a rational fear. Everything else is an irrational fear. So you want to disrupt that frequency of those thoughts. As soon as you go to curiosity, it's going to get you on a different frequency. And then once you've disrupted it, then you can go back and you can reverse engineer it and say, well, what's going to happen in order for me to get homeless? And then you go down, well, if I'm, really, I won't have to have any money, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll be homeless, and then I'll be arrested. And you see how crazy it is, and you disprove it in your brain. So 2-minute rule. Ask yourself, is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? For anything that whenever you're feeling a negative emotion, because it's false, unless it's going to kill you in the next 2 minutes. Does that make sense?
It does. It really does.
Okay.
I hope you didn't ask because it was so freaky.
Yeah. So there's a TED Talk, and there's a professor at Northeastern University called Lisa Feldman Barrett, Barrett. Look that up, Amy, and you'll see she does a TED Talk. It's like 12 minutes or something on how thoughts don't originate in our heads. And it will completely change your idea of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are our spirit saying to us, hey, this is a false belief. You need to look at this from a different perspective. You're making this stuff up and you're staying on the hamster wheel. Disrupt it with, is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? And you're gonna be amazed at how it's going to help you.
Well, thanks. Can I ask real quickly, is there anything you could do with my energy field to kind of give me a little... Yeah.
Give you a booster? Just did. You're glowing in the dark.
I love you. I love you. I love you. You have done
I love you too.
Good karma for me. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for calling. Take care. Bye, Amy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, our next caller is Kate. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Terrific. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I am in Columbus, Ohio.
Yay! City of my birth.
Yes.
Go Buckeyes.
And I'm a first-time caller, so I'm a little nervous.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. Yeah, we like that football team there, who's number one in the college football. And I'm in Sweet Home, Alabama, and this is the Bama LSU game, and the president's coming down this weekend.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
It's going to be there. It's a really big deal. So, yeah, they're all wound up around here, too. That's my second favorite team is Bama. And they're pretty close to the Buckeyes, but, yeah, they're both doing really well. Terrific. Well, welcome.
Thank you. And the reason I was just calling, and I want to say that, preface it, that it's a very first-world problem. My husband and I have been looking for a new home for about 10 months now. And our realtor actually is the one who suggested we call into the show and speak with you. We're having a hard time finding something and knowing if this is the right time. And so we're just kind of calling in and seeing if we should maybe put our plans on hold and stay where we're at, or if this is something that we should continue to pursue.
Okay. Well, I know Columbus is really exploding growth-wise, and there's a lot going on in that town. I think I heard that they're supposed to have another 1 million people living there in the next 10 years. So this is a good time for you to be buying a house, I would imagine, before the inventory gets really slim. So here's how we do this, Kate, is we ask the spirits, your deceased loved ones, your spirit guides, your angels, God, not necessarily in that order, but just all as a group, and just preface it with, is it in my best interest to finish the sentence, ... And we want to be as specific as we can about it. So ask a question, preface it with, is it in my best interest to, and then we'll refine it down and we'll get some answers for you.
Okay. So is it in my best interest to continue to pursue looking for a new home for our family?
Okay. So the answer is going to come into your head in a second. And if you think about it for more than a couple of seconds, that's going to be your brain talking to you. So ask the question again, refine it down a little bit as far as timeline.
Okay. Is it in our best interest to pursue looking for a new home right now?
Okay. And what's the first thing that came in your mind?
Yes.
I got a yes, too. So let's refine it down. Do you want to refine it down to areas?
Sure.
Okay, and
we're looking in a specific area.
I would suggest pursue looking. I would suggest, is it in our best interest to move into a new home? Let's just get down to the bottom line here. Is it in our best interest to buy and move into a new home? Name the area, name a timeline, by a certain date.
Okay. Is it in our best interest to buy and move into a new home by February of next year in the north end of Columbus?
Okay, can you be more specific?
In Delaware.
Okay. Delaware City, Delaware County?
Delaware County.
Okay, there you go. So see,
yeah.
We're refining it down. So ask it again. It's all one sentence.
Okay. Is it in our best interest to buy a home before February of 2020 in Delaware County?
Yeah. What's the first thing that pops in your head?
Yes. Yes.
I got a yes, too.
So
I got a yes,
now.
too. Yeah. So the reason why we want to be really specific is because, Kate, if you ask, is it in our best interest to buy a new home? Well, that could be in 10 years.
Right.
And spirits are always going to give you a specific answer. It's always going to be right. To get information that's really applicable, you got to be really specific because they're very literal. So just remember that. And you can ask questions that aren't just yes or no. I mean, you can ask questions about whatever. Is it in our best interest to buy in Worthington Hills or in Olentangy Highlands? You know, I mean, even neighborhoods, you can refine it down that way. And then stay, like what I was just talking with Amy, stay in when you're feeling dejected, frustrated, angry, whatever, use the 2-minute rule. Is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? If it's not, you know it's a false belief. So when you do that, you're going to keep your vibration level high, and then that's when the magic happens. You're going to be able to bring in, all kinds of things that are going to be unexpected. And a lot of the time, it's that the property just hasn't come available yet.
Yes. We've lost quite a few, so we're starting to feel a little defeated. So.
Yeah, but you know what? When you look back at it and you see what you end up with, you're going to be so glad that you lost those other ones.
Yes, hopefully.
Just know that.
Yes, thank you. Oh. I appreciate your time.
And thank your realtor, whoever it is.
I will. She's amazing.
Okay. Thanks, Kate. Good luck. Call back in and let us know how you do.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. All righty. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All righty. Let's see who's next. I believe our next caller is Denise. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm calling in from Alexandria, Virginia.
Terrific. How are things there?
Great.
Terrific.
I wanted to know if you could help me with my TMJ. I grind my teeth at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your left side's worse than your right. What I did was I connected to you while you were talking, just for time's sake. And how I do that, Denise, is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when we're attached to a body, we vibrate more slowly, just because the body has mass. So by raising my vibrational level, I watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, hook into you in Alexandria, and then I shot energy from your feet up through the top of your head, and this all takes about a nanosecond for me to do this. It takes longer to explain it than it does to do it. And so it looks like the left side is the one that's out of whack. And you know how on the back of a clock they'll have round wheels almost that are tongue and groove? You know what I'm talking about? And it'll make those wheels turn, and that's what makes the clock move, the time. That's what it looks like on the left side of your jaw, that you're missing a few little of those little tongues, those little pegs that go in the grooves of the wheel next to it. And it has to do with how that's an analogy, obviously. But what I'm doing is I'm putting stem cell energy in there, and it's affecting the hinge on the left side. Do you wear a retainer at night or a mouth guard?
No.
Go get one. Those Invisaligners, like for braces and stuff. Just go to an orthodontist, and it's $100, and have them. They look like football mouth guards, but they're clear. You put them in your upper and your lower. That will take care of the problem because we just aligned your jaw.
When I went to the dentist, he told me to just go to a Target or something, but I don't like the way those fit. They feel like I could swallow it at night, and so he didn't fit me for anything.
Right. Go to an orthodontist. I know somebody who has a child that goes to an orthodontist. Call them up. Say, look, I need you to make an upper and a lower retainer for me because I grind my teeth at night. They'll do it for you. Easy peasy. They do it all day long. Okay, and that should help.
All right. And while you were reading someone else, I sent you an email, by the way.
Oh, terrific. Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, I'll look forward to it. Thanks, Denise.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see who's next. I believe it's Miss Betty. Hi, Betty.
Hey, Julie.
How are ya?
I'm good. I'm on my phone has my mom's name, but it's Desiree. But it's Desiree calling about her cute little baby. You wanted an update on chocolate truffles, my little cute doggy.
Yeah, we talked to you a couple weeks ago.
Well, yes, and I wanted to just call you with an update that I did get the results back. It is a soft tissue sarcoma, so it is malignant. But in the doctor's room, I took your advice and asked her in reference to the longevity of her lifespan after if I had to amputate her leg at 11 years old and dog years 77. And I asked her assistant because she didn't even come back in. But after doing my research, just doing some of your therapy, which is one of them I just did, is it in my best interest? I totally use that, so thank you again for that. And I said no. She's still her happy-go-lucky self. She's running around like she does not have anything on her leg. And I found this great website called Dog Naturally. It's given me some good insight for other dog parents of how to and what to use to help her out. So I just wanted to call you with that update and tell you thank you because although she has these little masks on her legs, she's not changed. She's happy, and I'm just going to let her live her best life as long as I can keep her. And I think the meds I'm giving her, the all-naturals, are working.
Well, the thing that's so bizarre about this, Desiree, is that I'm still getting that it's not malignant. So maybe it's a future thing, but I'm still not getting that it's malignant. So I'm so glad you decided not to amputate her leg.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I'm like, you know what, I agree with you. And I talked to several people and other people, and I'm like, you know what, I agree with Julia. I don't think it's malignant either. Her demeanor hasn't changed. It's not like she's changing. She's still jumping around like crazy. I'm just being a little bit more softer with her because I don't want her to hurt herself. And she is already smart. She took the little cone off her head and licking it after those stitches out. But I just wanted to tell you again, thank you for the advice. Thank you for the encouragement. And I'm just taking everything into consideration and just praying that I can keep her as long as I can.
Yeah. Did you like the picture I chose of her? I know that's not what she looks like, but I had to find a cute chocolate dog.
No, but I decided that I'm going to go on your website and send you some photos of us and just tell you thank you again and just, again, just let you know that we're doing good. I most definitely will keep you up to date through your website.
Great. Wonderful. What I'm talking about, everybody, is a couple of weeks ago, that was the theme of the show, or that was the title. Each week I come up with a question somebody submitted, and then I have to name the show so that I can have some kind of an image to have a graphic done to post. And so Truffles got to be the star of the show that week, and I just came up with a picture that I thought, okay, this looks like.
When I send you the cute picture, you'll see she is just star indeed, and she just makes me happy, makes me smile.
Wonderful.
So as long as I can keep that smile, I'm excited every day. But thank you again. Much prayers to you, your husband, and happy holidays.
All righty, you too. Thanks, girl. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, fun. All right, we do this show every Thursday night except Halloween and Thanksgiving, and Christmas is on a Thursday. And it's at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-770-4160. Access code 533677#. You can find this information on a bunch of different places. It's on my website, AskJulieRyan.com. If you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, you'll find it. It is in the show notes of anywhere you download podcasts. I believe we're on 70 outlets. So anywhere you download podcasts, just look in the show notes and it'll be on there. I put a note on my blog that I send out each Wednesday night, and it's a question somebody has submitted online. And in the show notes, it'll say, hey, remember to call in. And then on social media, I post on Ask Julie Ryan on Instagram and Ask Julie Ryan on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. We're also on Alexa, so you can find that information anywhere. When you're on my site, sign up for the blog and also sign up for a private session, and then we'll have a whole hour to discuss whatever you want to talk about. It can be a multitude of things as time will allow. It doesn't have to be just medical or just pets. It can be a combo platter of whatever, because after all, I'm a buffet of psychicness. I crack myself up when I say that, but it's true. Okay, so this week's question came from Sarah, and Sarah lives in Louisville, Kentucky, also known as Louisville, but in the South here they say Louisville. And she said, hi, Julie. My son passed away from autoerotic asphyxiation almost 10 months ago. My question is this. Did he die this way by accident, and was this his or our soul plan? I'm struggling to get my mind around that, even though I'm a believer in soul plans. I've also had the thought that I helped to manifest his passing. I didn't want him to die, but I did want relief from the struggles in our relationship. He was 16. I hope he's okay. I was told he was confused that he died and didn't accept it right away. I'm functioning pretty well, only because I believe intellectually that he transitioned and is still with me. I want so badly to have a visit from him. I may have had a few spirit winks from him, but not for a while now. Thank you for any advice or message you can give me, Sarah. And oh my God, how heart-wrenching is this question from Sarah. So here's my response. Hi, Sarah. My condolences on the passing of your son. I can't even imagine what you've been going through. In order to get some information for you, I first energetically connected to you and from you to your son. He was standing next to you at your right shoulder. That's usually where they show up when we call him in. Your son told me his death was an accident and that it was his soul's plan. We all decide when, where, how, and who's with us when we die. I don't believe it's a preordained plan. Rather, it's a decision our soul makes about how to exit this lifetime. Funeral directors have countless stories about loved ones waiting to die until someone sitting with them leaves the room to get a cup of coffee. Please know, we cannot create in someone else's reality, only in our own. You didn't cause him to manifest his death. You don't have the ability to do that to anyone but yourself. Your son also told me he's around you all the time. You can summon him just by thinking of him. Likewise, when he's close by, you're likely to think of him. It works both ways. If you want to communicate with him, just say something to him either aloud or in your head. His response will come as a thought you think. It'll happen instantly. The more you practice, the better you'll get at communicating with him. That's what we were practicing with Kate, who's looking for a new home in Columbus. Lastly, please consider reading my book, Angelic Attendants, What Really Happens as We Transition from This Life into the Next. I believe it will inform you about how he was surrounded by angels and deceased loved ones at the time of his passing, and still is, and I believe you'll find the stories about families with whom I've worked comforting. By the way, scientific research has corroborated what I discuss in my book, how we're surrounded by angels and deceased loved ones and pets. It seems many people are experiencing what I call the 12 phases of transition, and that's how angels and our loved ones and our pets are surrounding us as we pass. Hope this gives you some peace, sending big hugs your way. This scientific research, you guys, if you go on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, and you pull up this blog, it's for this week. It's called A Sun's Passing. I have links to a couple of TED Talks. The first one is of a guy who's an MD, PhD, who, by the way, graduated from the Ohio State University, where I went. I love that part. And he has done a bunch of research with hospice patients as they're dying and as they're approaching death, and they talk about seeing their deceased loved ones and their pets, and you can watch his TED Talk about that. And then the second one that's up there is by a guy named Peter Fenwick, who's in London at King's College, and he's done a lot of research on near-death experiences, people who've died and then come back, and they all talk about being surrounded by angels, being surrounded by deceased loved ones, being surrounded by pets. So don't you love it when science matches up with woo-woo? I do. All right, with that, thanks, Sarah from Louisville. I hope this gives you some comfort, those answers. Okay, let's go back to the phone, and let's see who's next. I believe our next caller is Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Terrific. Where are you calling us from?
I am your neighbor, sort of, in Georgia, Alpharetta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. Great. Yeah, I saw the 404 area code. I thought that's an Atlanta number, but, you know, with cell phones, you could be in Timbuktu with an Atlanta area code.
That's true. That's so true.
Alpharetta is a suburb of Atlanta, everybody.
It is. Yep. I am calling. I'm just still in shock that I got you, so thank you. But
you're welcome.
I am calling about my dearly loved dog, Annabelle.
Yeah.
She transitioned this past October 27th, so almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kind of suddenly. Well, no, it was very sudden for me. And so I'm calling. I am still hunting for peace about what happened. And sorry, I said I wasn't going to cry, but I think I might.
Oh, what kind of dog was she, Lori?
She was a Pembroke Corgi and a German Shepherd. So she looked like a short shepherd.
Mix.
She was adorable. She was the cutest thing. Still is. But I think I'm trying to just understand. I know what the vet told us, you know, in terms of what was happening, but I think I need to hear from someone who can connect with her, what was happening for her, like how she experienced it. So we stayed there with her, and we
did she get sick? What happened? Was she hit by a car?
No. No, I feel like I was. But
I bet.
No, she had thrown up on Friday, like later in the day, all of her food and breakfast, and that was strange, but I thought, okay. And she seemed a little out of it, a little spacey, but then she wanted to eat dinner, and she was happy when her dad came home, and she kind of perked right back up, and we're like, okay, she seems okay. And then Saturday, we were gone for a little bit, but came back, and she had played that morning, and she was all excited to see us at the door Saturday. So I was sending her Reiki when we were away for the day because I just was concerned about her because she hasn't shown any. She was aging, but she hadn't shown any major signs of decline that were that rapid. And then Sunday morning we played. Both her and my fiance played with her, and she's just this happy, joyful spirit in our home. And but then by Sunday night, she refused dinner. And Annabelle never refuses dinner. She only did that one other time in her life when she had a severe infection from chewing open her skin, a spot on her hip, and we treated that, and she came out of it fine. But when Annabelle refused food, we were like, uh-oh, no, something's really wrong. And so we actually took her to the ER, and then that's when they told us, like, this horrific news. And so,
what did they tell you? That she had what was wrong with her?
Well, she seemed to have trouble she began to have trouble breathing, and her breathing seemed labored, and her tummy seemed distended, and so that's what we were like, we got to get her to the ER. And she actually looked like she wanted to go. She kind of drug herself out to the car, and we put her ramp up to get her in. And but then the vet, when they triaged her, they said, I was concerned that she was bleeding internally, and it turns out that's what it was. They said that they found a splenic mass near her stomach or next to her stomach, could be bleeding into her stomach, that had maybe ruptured. They didn't know if it was cancerous or not, but they said they were 90% sure based on the ultrasound that that's what they saw. And then just showed us like a vial of blood that they had pulled from her stomach. And they said they could do surgery, but at her age, they didn't recommend it. And we, I said that if it was cancerous, I would never put her through chemotherapy. I didn't think that was the humane thing to do for her. So they said if I wasn't going to do that her odds weren't so great. But it just seemed, I just don't have peace about it because it was just super sudden because she went from super healthy to just suddenly boom. But even a couple weeks leading up to it, although she was acting totally normal, I felt like she was maybe beginning to see angels or spirits in our apartment. But I do Reiki work, so part of me thought that's just par for the course, that she was maybe tuning into things. But in retrospect, I think maybe she was kind of warning me that she was going to transition. I don't know. I'm just... But then she seemed like she was just fighting to hold on at the end. I don't feel like she wanted to leave us. And, and we didn't want her to leave, obviously. So anyway.
I'm so sorry.
But we did,
I know.
We did at the very end elect to do euthanasia because she had relieved herself on herself, which she'd never done her entire life. And I thought, no, I just asked the angels to take her rather than drag her through surgery. And I'm sure that they did. But
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something before I forget. I have scanned. God, I have no idea how many dogs over 2.5 decades. I mean, countless. Okay. And the thing that they all tell us when we're scanning them is when their owners say, "How?" My daughter-in-law's a vet, Lori, and so she doesn't call them owners; she calls them their humans, which I think is hysterical.
Yeah.
So dogs, they're humans. They always tell me to tell their humans that they will know when it's time for them to be euthanized, or that they're on their last leg when they can't control their bowels. Especially their bowels. Yep. So the fact that you just said that is massive. That's huge. Because
and it's funny because
so many times.
Yeah. I mean, it's not funny, but I specifically asked the Angel of Mercy to please give me a very distinct sign that I know that we're doing the right thing. And when she picked herself up and moved herself, she was trying to get away from where she had just relieved herself. I knew, and that's when I called for the euthanasia right away because I didn't want her to suffer anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a gift to me, but it was a brutal gift. But,
yeah, that's so hard. Well, so what's your question for her?
Well, I asked her right before her transition to please come back to me and show me that she's around by showing me white bunnies. And she has, because she's so smart. She's like the smartest dog, and as I'm working in Reiki, I really just want her to be one of my spirit guides. But as I've been in grief and pain, I feel like she's trying to connect to me, but I'm just in so much pain that it's hard for me to connect with her. But I want that more than anything. So I want to know that she's okay. I would like to know if she's found people on the other side that she knows. I feel like she was the first one to go, even though we have relatives, et cetera, up there, but no one that she knew here. I don't know. I have so many questions that
Okay,
it's hard to pick one. But
so first of all, people and dogs are different. Like the animals aren't looking for people that they knew. People see their deceased loved ones when they transition, but animals not so much. We're putting a human characteristic on a dog here.
Okay.
So she's around you all the time. Her spirit's around you all the time. And she's saying that this is great because she can go with you wherever, whereas before you had to leave her. So that's number one.
We've been saying that to one another. We've been saying, oh, look, we don't have to say goodbye to her. She's traveling with us now.
That's right.
We even say that to her. We talk to her.
The other thing she's telling me is that you think you hear her nails on the floor. Have you felt like you heard her and then you're like, oh, well, she's not here anymore? She's saying you're hearing her and you're discounting it.
I haven't heard her nails on the floor, but anytime I hear anything, because I'm here all day by myself. I've been home with her entire life during the day because I work from home. So not having her here is a big shock and upset to my world. Because her little move, every little move, I would be up checking on her. Because I just loved her so much.
Yeah.
But she has done a couple weird things that I know are her. Like, I'll get these certain noises. Like, one was to remind me, like, something clunked in the dryer. And I was like, what was that? And I had just washed her blanket for the first time after she had passed. And I pleaded with her to please leave her scent on the blanket, even though I was washing it, like, for her to figure out a way to do that. And I got, I had forgot it was in there and dry. And then there was this little clunk, and I knew right away that was her, reminding me to open the dryer and check. And so I did, and I pulled it out, and it smelled like her more than before I had washed it. I just sat there like, you were such an amazing dog. Even my fiance, who can't smell anything, could smell her. So I knew it wasn't just me. But I do feel like, she has been quieter. I haven't heard her nails, although that is something I would listen, I would hear all the time, like on our...
Well, she's basically saying, you're hearing her, you're going to hear her nails, so when you hear her nails, don't discount it.
I won't.
Let it in, that she's letting you know she's around you all the time, and that she's, she's told me twice, this is great, because she can go with you when you leave the house.
I always thought she wanted to come with us every time we left, so it is kind of cool that she can do that now.
Why don't you schedule a private session with me, and we'll have a whole hour, and we can dissect all of this. And thanks for calling in. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for taking the time. Yes.
About Annabelle. Oh yeah. It's so hard.
Yeah.
And people that aren't animal lovers don't understand. But it's like, somebody dies out of town and you see them twice a year and it's heart-wrenching and it's awful, but somebody that, an animal that's with you 24/7.
It's
when
different.
It's different. Yeah, it's intense.
Well, it's nice to hear you say that because I think some people can get over some of their pets' losses quickly, and she was just part of my soul team. Like she was different. She wasn't just a pet. So, and I know she's still going to work with me, but I just want to make sure that I'm tuning. I have to learn a new way of hearing now. I just don't want to her. So, anyway.
Well, you are so welcome. Schedule a private session, and let's talk more about this. Okay.
Thanks
all
so
right.
much.
Lori, take care. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's see who's next. I believe it's Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Oh, hello, Julie.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. That's a tough one to follow, isn't it?
Oh. Woo! But let me tell you about the dog theme. I'm calling about my dog.
Oh gosh, this is like a dog show tonight. Okay.
I know. But hey, it's
going
meant
on
to be.
Your dog. Where are you, first of all?
Well, I am in Reno, Nevada, on the West Coast. Yes. Yeah. And we have an old guy. His name is Hunter. He is a yellow lab, and we adopted him from the Humane Society last January. And we kind of knew, he had some hip issues. My main question is he's having some other going on, and I'm just wondering if he is ready to transition over.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, Carrie, is I'm going to connect to you, energetically. There's a laser beam heading out to Reno from Sweet Home, Alabama. And then I'm going to connect the Hunter from you. Okay. So let's ask him some questions. His spirit is in his body, so he's not dying at the moment.
Okay.
And if you go on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, Carrie, there's a tab that says the 12 phases of transition, and you'll see graphics. That's what happens when people die, and the spirit exits the body through the top of the head, and it holds on while somebody's dying, and it looks like a bubble that's attached to the top of their head. That's what animals look like, too. They're not surrounded by angels and deceased dog loved ones, like their parents and stuff, but dog spirits. But that bubble looks the same, so you can see it on my site. So he is not dying at the moment, but let's ask him a couple of questions. I got 2 minutes left, so let's ask him. What do you want to ask him? Are you ready to transition? Yes. He's saying yes.
Yeah, he told me and my husband yes earlier.
Yeah. How will you know when he's ready to go? Same thing. What I was telling Lori, the caller before you, that when they can't control their bowels, that seems to be the universe.
The thing is I don't know if we're going to let it go that far because he's having trouble with mobility now. It's hard for him to he can't even hardly walk down the hallway without slipping because of his hips, and then they're saying he has MRSA between his toes, and that's horrible, and so just a lot of compounding things. So I was just wondering, I didn't want to do it too soon because who am I to take away his life, but
So are you ready?
Confirmation.
So Hunter, are you ready for Carrie are you ready for your humans? How about that? Are you ready for your humans to euthanize you? He's saying yes before the question's even out.
Yep, he told me that too. Okay, I was just wanting to see what you had to say, so I really appreciate your input.
There's some validation for you. Okay, call back in and let us know how it goes and how you're doing, mostly how you're doing. Okay,
sounds
thanks,
great.
Carrie.
Thanks for getting me on. All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, everybody, that's it for this week. For those of you that didn't get on, please call back in next week. Let me know you didn't get on. I'll do my best to get you on next week. For everybody listening, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and go Buckeyes, go Roll Tide, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the big football games this weekend. And hope you have a great week. And please call in and join us next week. Until then, take care, everybody. Bye now.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Twitter at AskJulieRyan and like her on Facebook at AskJulieRyan. For information on how you can ask Julie your question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.